In the studio? Okay, good. Thank you.
Were great, and they also provided x-rays, a pharmacy, and lab draw station. No appointments needed, and convenient parking is nearby. Wheeling Hospital Urgent Care. They'll take good care of you.
I'm not buying till I checked on Ford.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there's one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doan Ford. You can be certain that you always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. Being in business for over 50 years has given Doan Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doan Ford. Online at DoanFord.com.
I'm not buying till I checked on Ford.
Millions plan for retirement online. Estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, and manage your benefits all from the comfort of your home. And give yourself the freedom to do what you want offline. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
I'm Josh from Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. I hope you are staying healthy. We continue to respond to structural, fire, and water emergencies. We are combating COVID-19 with our highly trained staff and latest disinfection systems, providing preventative and reactive disinfection to facilities around the region, while working with area hospitals on isolation areas and air filtering. At Panhandle, we continue to follow social distancing and hygiene protocols. We are dedicated to our community, and together we will get through this.
Highland Sports Complex is the coolest destination for sports and entertainment the Ohio Valley has ever seen. Pop in for some open basketball in our field house or reserve some turf time for your next practice or game on our synthetic fields. Online registration is open for development classes and leagues for youth and adults. Highland Sports is also the hottest destination for birthday parties and other events. So come challenge yourself on our play climb and enjoy your favorite virtual reality game in the arcade. No memberships required, so visit highlandsports.com to find your next entertainment experience and get ready to reach new heights.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
From the Watchdog, here is your local weather forecast for your Friday. Mostly sunny skies, high of 60. Tonight, a chance of isolated showers, low of 45. And for your Saturday, expect mostly cloudy skies with a high of 52. And that's your local weather forecast from the Watchdog.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
News, information, conversation, controversy, and fun. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Posting the Facebook page to my Facebook page. Don't forget you can watch us on Facebook Live, as many of you have been doing already, and I do appreciate it because you do watch us there. But I forgot to post it in this segment of the show, so I just got it up there. All right, now we're up and running. What are we talking about today here on the Watchdog Morning Show? Ohio's COVID curfew is in effect as the Buckeye State House of Representatives passes legislation to limit the executive authority of Governor DeWine and his health officers. DeWine says he will veto that. Soon-to-be Senate President in West Virginia, Craig Blair, says public health concerns cannot be allowed to override civil liberties. Mountain State School Superintendent says remote learning is not good for students, even as the governor mandates at least a week of remote learning after Thanksgiving, and the WVEA calls for remote learning all the way till the end of the year. We'll talk to the Reverend Cummings here in a minute about their Thanksgiving giveaway. Newspaper editor John McCabe and I review the local news of the week in our regular Friday roundtable next hour. You may have noticed I'm pretty fed up with Facebook. I mean, I just my frustration level is so high, I don't know what to do. I've been ranting about that. I'll continue that coming up a little bit later on this morning as well. And, of course, we have some COVID numbers to share with you, so let's do that right now. Quick check of the latest COVID numbers around our area.
COVID-19 update.
Continuing coverage of the year America shut down continues on the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Ohio County Health Department says 64 new cases of COVID-19 in Ohio County yesterday. 64. Currently, the health department reporting a total of 1,255 cases, and that includes 16 deaths. More testing is going to be done all this week and running through next week as well at the 3 testing clinics in Ohio County, Warwood, Valley Grove, and Wheeling Island fire stations. So there's a free test if you want to get them done. You can do that. Marshall County Health Department has received confirmation of 55 new positive cases, 15 of them associated with long-term care. That brings Marshall County to a total of 855 confirmed cases and 110 probable cases. 394 currently are isolated at home, 13 are hospitalized, 13 deaths attributed to COVID in Marshall County. Of course, some of you are, because you told me this on my Facebook page yesterday, I don't believe those numbers, Howard. I don't believe them. They're all fake numbers. They're fake. People are, I keep asking, why would they want to fake the numbers? What's the point of faking the numbers? What's the point of that? When I get these conspiracy theories, I say, well, but what? Let's follow this through. Okay, for some reason these numbers are fake. Why are they faking them? What's the? I can't. Very frustrated. Reverend Darrell Cummings is with us. Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
When your frustration level gets so high, you just want to scream. Like I've been this morning.
Been there, done that, got the T-shirt. So
what do you do? How do you deal with that?
The truth is, less than 2 weeks ago, I was in the hospital for heart palpitations and my chest hurting, and praise the Lord, they said that they could not find anything wrong other than they felt that I was exhausted and I was overstressed. Mm-hmm. And perhaps it was trying to get ready for the Thanksgiving giveaway. Perhaps it was life. Perhaps it was the news I was watching. I don't know. But you do sometimes have to take a break from different things that you're looking or doing or get some rest. Not trying to be a preacher on you, but Jesus was known for taking breaks all the time. He'd go off by himself. Mm-hmm. He would go somewhere and would have no man know it. You are a people person, and you work with people all the time. And sometimes you just got to take a break from the news, or a break from Facebook, or a break from whatever is stressing you, and then come back to it. And of course, spiritually speaking, we cast all our care on him, for he cares for us.
You're the second person this morning to tell me about chest problems or heart palpitations.
Yeah.
A local public official, and I don't want to mention his name because I don't. But
sure.
He sent me a note this morning when I was talking about this and saying, Howard, I had to step back from Facebook. Yes. I ended up in the hospital with chest pains.
Yes.
I guess that's something we sometimes forget, is that our mental stress can lead to physical problems.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And they're saying that young people are having more mental stress, and kids 5 and 6 having more mental stress. And what happens in your mind definitely can affect your body. When it comes to the kids, they say, and this really breaks my heart, that more young people are committing suicide than ever before. Teenagers committing suicide, feeling isolation, feeling nobody, even though they're on social media and they have hundreds of friends, feeling alone, and without that physical contact, without that touch that they may normally have. And so I definitely understand it. I don't know that I have the answers to it, but we have to, you can't save somebody else unless you first save yourself. So, and the first thing you have to do is sometimes take a break, just some common thoughts, take a walk, turn off the computer, turn off the TV, read a good book that's encouraging to you. You have to do some mind things because it does affect physically, and some of the physical pains, some of the stress, some of the blood pressure could be from what you think about. That's that old Three Stooges joke where one of the, I think it's Curly, goes to the doctor and he says, every time I do this, my eye hurts, and the doctor says, stop doing that. So if every time you do this, you get chest pain, stop doing that. So that's just this Three Stooges wisdom.
And there's a lot of wisdom from the Three Stooges.
Yes.
I mentioned to Biff earlier off the air, and until this minute I hadn't drawn the connection. Yesterday was just, I don't know why I was so frustrated all day. I'm tired of people who don't want to believe reality. I'm tired of people who want to argue for the sake of arguing. I'm tired of the pettiness that I see on Facebook in particular. But I hadn't drawn the connection. I told Biff during one of the breaks, I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning.
Oh, no.
Got up at 3, and I could not get back to sleep. Just couldn't do it.
Bless him, Lord.
And I think it's probably this anxiety that just builds up inside you.
Yeah.
I remember, Reverend, when I first started on Facebook, when Facebook first sort of came out, it was a good way to connect with people. I've connected with a lot of old high school chums that I never would have met again, over the years. I have made some actual new friends, quote, on Facebook, people that we actually talk together. I use it to post pieces of information. I just want to, here's something that you ought to know.
Right.
I like to read it. But then nobody can take that anymore. Now it becomes argumentative. And I'm seeing a lot more of my friends, my little actual personal friends, who have just dropped off of Facebook and said, I got to take a break.
Absolutely. I think there's some wisdom in that. And even, something my daddy used to say is you have to eat the meat and throw away the bones. Don't choke on the bone, It's there, it happens. And I think I'm not trying to do anybody's advertising. I think there's something called Rhymes or something that's a form of Twitter or Instagram. And it's, I think I sometimes get them mixed up, but anyway, it's supposed to be a tweet that only lasts for 24 hours. Which means that people are going to say meaner things and more cruel things, because I think that sometimes people say things on social media that they wouldn't say to your face. But they just feel they can say whatever they want. Doesn't have to be true. Doesn't have to be right. But because nobody's in this room but me, or nobody sees me doing it, and they think that they're invisible. But eventually, it does show. So, we have to be careful.
That is so true. Keyboard warriors.
Yes.
It's easy to type and say, "Well, I think you're just a no good." I mean, I get this all the time.
Oh, sure.
Personally, you're a no good bum. You're whatever. You're a miserable liberal, communist, socialist Monroe, and you will die. I mean, I get that all the time.
Yeah.
And yet, if I were to talk to these people in person, they wouldn't say that.
No, it'd be a lot more polite, and we need to learn to be polite on social media, just like we are, hopefully, in person. But we've been doing our giveaways now since 1990, and so it's 30 years. But sadly, I've had people threaten my life, both in person and on social media, and threaten my life for giving things away. It's not like I'm selling it or anything, but I've had people, going to kill me and my family. We had a building burned down. We had, so we've had issues because everybody, you have to learn how to disagree without being disagreeable. There's a polite debate. You know, I don't appreciate what you're doing, but I appreciate you, and that civility we need to have. And sadly, that's not something that is promoted as much as it used to be. I don't have to be disagreeable to disagree.
Yeah, and once upon a time that was the norm.
Yes, sir.
But it's not so much anymore, which is sad to say. Part of your stress, maybe, I guess, comes from this year's Thanksgiving dinner is going to be, or Thanksgiving giveaway is going to have to be a very different one than you've done in years gone by, right?
Yes, and you know, all of them this year since March have had to be different. It's always stressful just doing it, but now having to do it with so many restrictions and now less help, less support, things of that nature makes it even more difficult. And you do ask yourself, is it worth it? Because there are other great agencies out there, but this is our little part in the pond. But it is going to be different, and we're really stressful about Christmas because the toy, that's the only time we give away toys, and usually we allow kids to come and pick them out, but we're being told so far that there is no safe way to do that. And as I said earlier, I don't want to contribute to the mental stress that kids are having, but we're going to figure out a way. But as far as Thanksgiving is concerned, it's going to be a drive-through, 407 Main Street. It will be somewhat like our adopt a student and what we had to do for Easter and the COVID testing that we did earlier this year. It'll be contactless. We're very thankful for the volunteers that we hope to have, all things being equal, and they will be wearing masks and gloves and uncovering, and we will get the information from the person while they're in the car. We were asking that those that do come, if they would be kind enough to wear a mask when they're talking to a volunteer, that would be great as well. But we'll be outside, whether they do or not, and we'll go put a box together for them. Normally, they would put their own box together and pick the different things that they want, but since we can't have anybody come inside, we'll go pick it for them, and if they open up their trunk or back door, we'll deliver the box. We have ordered and expect to receive hundreds of turkeys. We also have other sun-dry items, other meats besides turkey. Everybody doesn't have turkey. We do have hams and chickens and everything we could get our hand on. Somebody might be having ribs for Thanksgiving. I don't know, but that's all right too. It's better than not eating at all. But we'll also have fruits and vegetables. We'll have some canned goods, stuffing, and anything that we can get that we hope will help them have a happy Thanksgiving and hopefully get us through this 2020.
I'm wondering if you anticipate, a lot of folks are going to be having smaller family gatherings this year, I would think.
Yes.
I know certainly in our household that's true. We usually have the whole family in.
Right.
And I don't know what the number we get is, 20 people or something here, but it's just going to be the four of us, basically, 5 of us now with my grandson. Do you have to adapt to that, do you think?
Yes, I think you're absolutely right. I normally, don't hate me now on Facebook, but I normally go to Cleveland for my Thanksgiving. That's where my whole family is. I'm the only one that doesn't live in Cleveland. And and our family has already talked, and we've agreed that they may be able to get together. I don't know what they're going to do, but they understand that I won't be coming, and they sometimes come down to here, and we've agreed that they won't be coming here as well, and we've already talked about that for Christmas as well. So yes, I think that there are going to be a lot more individuals having to have their own meals, erring on the side of caution. It's better to be safe than sorry. I read a horrible quote. I hope it's not true, and that is that if you get together for a big Thanksgiving meal, you can get together later for a big funeral. But I hope that that's not true. I hope that it's just trying to steer us to be extra cautious, and that's what we're trying to do. But I do think there would be a lot more family, small families, and I think that due to the people who lost jobs or just the income is not what it used to be, there is going to be more stressful, and food may be their biggest expense.
How many people do you normally deal with on a Thanksgiving giveaway?
We normally help in between 500 plus people. We have had up to 1,000 or better. I think one year we had 1,200, but the normal is about 500.
And you expect maybe more this year?
I do expect more this year based on the calls that we're getting. We believe that there will be more. I believe that there was another agency that was going to do a giveaway earlier this week, and for whatever reason, it got canceled. And I think that some of the people that weren't able to get help there may be coming to us. And as long as we have it, we'll be happy to give it away. So.
Now, your giveaway is tomorrow morning, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Saturday at 11 a.m. at the
Dream Center.
At the Dream Center, and coming through the back alley. We're encouraging everyone that can to be in vehicles. We're trying to limit it to one box per car. I understand that there may be more than one family in a car, depending upon how many people come. We know whether or not we can help with that, but we're trying to at least guarantee that we do one box per car. But if we can do more, if perhaps that many people doesn't turn out and we're able to do more, we definitely will do more. We didn't buy it to keep it, we bought it to give it away. And today will be the day we're going out picking up everything, so pray for my back. So.
A number of years ago, you were getting some flack publicly for, or people were saying things like, well, they're going to come and rip you off, not so much for this one, but for some of your other giveaways.
Yes.
Because, you're pretty, I don't know what the word I want to use, lenient, I guess. You say, look, if you're coming and you need, we're going to give it to you. Do you feel that you get a lot of people who are trying to, quote, rip you off?
I don't know if a lot is the term I would use, but I believe that there are some that definitely do rip us off, and we understand it. And I don't know whether or not this is going to come out right, but I believe that when you operate in fear and scarcity, you get whatever you can, take from whoever you can, because you don't think that you're going to have, and you never have enough because you're afraid that you won't eat again, and I think that's because of how a person has had to live, that they're just afraid, and maybe you do have enough, but you're afraid you might. So, oh my God, let me take that, and until you have an overabundance and you're really hurting somebody else, but you're operating in fear. And then I also believe, and I hope I say this right, a person can be asset rich and cash poor. Meaning that they could have a very nice car and live in a very nice house, but maybe due to recent events, don't have the cash to just go out and get the meals that they normally would do. They look good, but they don't have the finances right now. Could have had a setback, whatever the case may be. And I've had conversations with the board, and we've had Mercedes-Benz pull up, and we've had Cadillacs and things of that nature. But I try to say to the board, we don't know whose car that is. We don't know whether they're behind in their payments. We don't know anything about them. We don't know if they borrowed somebody's car. We're just judging based on what we see, and that's what we shouldn't do. So if they say they need help and they're willing to wait in this line to get it, and signs saying they need it, that's enough. And let's just help them and move on. And that's between them and God, whether they're fooling us or not. So
Tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock at the
Yes,
Green
sir.
Center. Folks, I mean, I guess first come, first served.
It
by
is
very
the first
nature
come, yes.
going through, but folks don't have to be there at the stroke of 11. But
No.
At some point, you will run out of food.
This is true. This is true. But we're going to do, and I don't know, how many believe in the 2 fishes and 5 loaves of bread, but miraculously, we have very rarely turned anybody away. Out of all the 30 years, I cannot explain it, but somehow we have usually had enough. Now, once we close the doors, there have been people who come after we're through, but I'm talking about while it was going on. And we've had even the amazing thing of some volunteers who, when we ran out, went to the store and got more so that everybody would get something. Everybody may not get the same thing, but everybody definitely, we try to make sure, gets something. And this year we're going to try to do the same thing. Obviously, I'm not God, and I don't know what will happen, but I'm going to do my best to make sure that everybody does.
So tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock. Let's talk about this Christmas thing a little bit more.
Yes, sir.
That one, you've got a lot of potential problems coming down the road.
Oh, my
including,
God.
I guess you're not getting as many donations up till now as you thought you would normally get, right?
Well, we've had our challenges. The Ohio Valley is wonderful people, and Ohio Valley is being hit as well. But that is definitely a challenge. But one of our greatest challenges is that we wanted the kids to be able to pick out their own choice. I do want to mention that the bike depot is coming on thanks to our giveaway on tomorrow. They'll have 30 to 40 bikes that they'll be giving away for free on a first come, first serve basis. And as I understand it, some adults as well as children now are riding bikes, saving money. So I do want to thank them for their willing to partner with us. And they'll be out there with a row of bikes, and they hope not to take any of them back. So if anybody needs a bike, you don't need food, or you do need food, you can still get a bike. We're very grateful to them. And this is, a community unity in the community working together. They have a mission, we have a mission. We're working together on our mission to help those who may be in need. But Christmas is the word stressed about not just the finances, and I do want to take this time to thank the Fitzsimmons Foundation, who helped us last year, and without their help, we probably would not have been able to have one like we did, and we have received news just as of yesterday that they will be helping us again, and we're very grateful to that. We used to have the OVMC that helped us, and obviously they don't exist anymore. The foundation was not, or was not able, I don't know how to characterize it, to do what OVMC did, but it's definitely helping us in an extreme way, and we're extremely grateful to the whole Fitzsimmons family. But nonetheless,
every once in a while, those Fitzsimmons do okay.
No, I think it's more than every once in a while. But we're very grateful to Rocky, who we talked to, and he's been nothing but kind, and he's an angel all by himself. And his sister, she's great as well. But the whole family, everybody. So I probably shouldn't have said anything. But anyway, they're all great. They're all great.
They're not bad.
No, they're all great. But
you mentioned this business about kids wanting to pick out their own toys.
Right.
It's really important to me. I was talking yesterday in my church. We do the I'm just call it the Santa sack, where you take a kid's name and a bag and you put toys in for them, and the kid tells you what they want. And I always love to do that and put a lot of toys in there, or whatever the kids want. Toys, clothes, what have you. Because I want them to get what they. And I'm not shopping this year. I'm not physically going out and shopping.
Sure.
And someone said, well, but give them a gift card, and that may be the answer.
It may be. Yeah.
But having said that, I feel like that's a letdown. If you're a
Yes.
kid, you want to see
You actually
the
want to see
toys,
something, right? Yes.
Yeah.
And we're very grateful that we've been contacted by the Sheriff Department that they will be working with us. They may not be able to help with the Thanksgiving, they said, but they definitely will be helping with the Christmas, and they're going to be purchasing toys, and they also sponsor some kids that they go get toys, and so we're very grateful to them. And they have been the shopping angels where we had a whole room full of toys, and I remember one little boy, when he walked into the room, he said, well, he was just like in awe, like he had stepped into heaven. And he said, "What can I get? What can I get?" And they said, "Anything you want. Just pick out what you want." And that scene right now doesn't seem like we're able to work out. We need a place big enough and that wouldn't be worried about the COVID and social distancing, that they could spread out. And so far we're being told by larger facilities that it's the liability, and I understand that. They're not trying to be mean. They're just concerned that somebody, and we're in a litigious society, and somebody might get something, a sickness, by coming in and then turn around and sue them for hosting it. So we understand that, and our fallback, which is not what we want, but may be what we're forced to do, because the only property we can definitely use is our own, and it has its own challenges, and that is to make it even more like Christmas, perhaps, and just go find out the age and the gender, and try to get some information from the parents, and then just go pick out some toys and just give it to them and let them open it on Christmas and be surprised.
Yeah.
So that's our fallback. It's not what we want, but it may be what we have to do.
All right. Well, Rev, I appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, 11 o'clock, is the Thanksgiving giveaway. Folks
Yes, sir.
can show up throughout the day until the supplies run out.
Yes, sir.
And do you need volunteers to help still?
We do need volunteers. We normally have had the police, the fire department, and the sheriff's department. I'm told that they will be busy or unable to come at their normal level. So yes, we definitely need volunteers. We have gotten some calls of some volunteers. We hope that it will work out. But if somebody feels strongly about helping, obviously you could have been sick, and you have to be willing to wear masks and gloves. And we'll be working outside and inside. But if you're able to help and you feel willing to do it, we would be honored to have you.
Well, I appreciate your being here today. You've calmed me down a little bit.
Oh, wonderful! Wonderful. I'm not going to take any credit. I'm just going to say God did it. But I'm glad to know you feel a little bit calmer.
I do feel better. First of all, it's nice to know that people are doing good things in our community.
We have a number.
Many others do as well.
Yes,
yes. It's nice to recognize that we are, for all of the stuff that I get frustrated about and all of the pettiness I see on Facebook or what have you, that there are people who care.
Yes.
And
this is a wonderful community. This is one bad apple can do something that would harm us all, but on the overwhelming majority, the Ohio Valley is a great place to live.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Hey, I appreciate your being here.
Have a great day.
Do you have a date set for Christmas giveaway?
Yes, December 19th. December 19th, the Saturday before Christmas, yes. Hopefully we can talk again, yes.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get closer to it.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Reverend, thank you. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you. God bless.
Have a great day. Beth, we should get Tony Caridi in here, right? Plus some news. What do you think?
Yeah, we better do that.
Works okay for you?
Fine with me.
All right, let's do her.
The WTRF Channel 7 News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Now it's time for your local news headlines from 7 News at WTRF, My Ohio Valley, and ABC Ohio Valley. Only on AM 1600 WKKX. The Watchdog.
Good morning, Ohio Valley.
Nancy? Nancy? Okay. I'm back, Biffy.
NCAA to find out exactly what's the date that you have to be back at your 85. It's not going to affect us as much as it will some other programs, just because we're operating with lower scholarship numbers anyway. We've got a relatively small senior class. And so I think long-term it's going to have less effect on us than it will on some others.
Mountaineer head coach Neil Brown. Have yourself a good weekend. I'm Tony Caridi, and this has been the Mountaineer Report, brought to us by Kroger on the Mountaineer Sports Network from Learfield, IMG College.
Throughout the Ohio Valley, back to school is looking different. Each day, parents, teachers, students, coaches, and administrators are finding solutions to situations that are unprecedented. All of us at the Highlands appreciate everything you are doing and are here for the items you need. Visit hitthehighlands.com for the current guidelines and updated contact information of our retailers and restaurants.
Oh, there's something so real about living local. And I know without a doubt I'm not alone. And I love living local. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Said I love living local. WTRF is working for me. The Ohio Valley is where I love to be.
Toyota-thon is on. Now's the best time to visit your Toyota dealer and to save big on the car, truck, or SUV you've been dreaming of. Like an off-road ready 21 4Runner, a 21 Tacoma, or a 21 RAV with available all-wheel drive. All with $1,000 cash back from Toyota. Take $1,000 back on a 21 gas model Corolla or $1,500 on a hybrid. Or a Highlander with seating for 8 and take up to $2,500 cash back. Take $2,000 cash back on a sporty new 2020 gas model Camry or $3,000 on a hybrid model Camry. Visit buyatoyota.com, Toyota's official website for deals, to check out inventory, build your own Toyota, and to find a dealer near you. All to help make buying or leasing your next Toyota easy and affordable. You can take cash back or apply toward down payment. Offers exclude TRD Pro models and hybrid offers vary. See your dealer for details. Toyota-thon is on, so hurry, go see your Toyota dealer today. Offers end November 30th. Toyota, let's go places.
Are you struggling to make payments due to an unexpected financial obligation or loss of income? Are you receiving calls from debt collectors? Are you feeling overwhelmed and unsure of what steps to take next? Then you need the experience and expertise of attorney Tom McIntyre and his staff to help guide you through these temporary hardships. Want to hear more about how Tom can help? Then call 877-456-4155 and receive a free copy of Tom's ebook, When Bad Things Happen to Good People. Tom's ebook covers many questions people have about bankruptcy and includes interesting stories about people who tried to avoid filing and people who have filed for bankruptcy. We think you'll be surprised to learn some interesting facts about bankruptcy. Call 877-456-4155. Just like they always do, Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands continues to serve the Ohio Valley. The Lube is still open for carryout and now offering their $10 meal deal every day of the week. Get one entree and one sidecar for just $10. Pick from steak, wings, ribs, and more. Call in or order online at thelube.com and follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on their latest specials and promotions.
Highland Sports Complex is the coolest destination for sports and entertainment the Ohio Valley has ever seen. Pop in for some open basketball in our field house or reserve some turf time for your next practice or game on our synthetic fields. Online registration is open for development classes and leagues for youth and adults. Highland Sports is also the hottest destination for birthday parties and other events. So come challenge yourself on our play climb and enjoy your favorite virtual reality game in the arcade. No memberships required, so visit highlandsports.com to find your next entertainment experience and get ready to reach new heights.
Facebook followers, you know the voice. Now you can see the face of our Watchdog Radio superstar, Bill DeFabio. Now on Facebook Live, weekdays from noon to 2.
Conversation you care about from people you know. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
"54 degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport, 54 at my home studios in Elm Grove, and 54 at the Robinson Auto Group Studios, downtown Wheeling, in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Clear skies, looking nice, sunny outside. Going to be a good day today, up to the low 60s. Tomorrow, pretty much the same. Then we get clouds coming in tomorrow, though. So enjoy. Great day today. Okay day tomorrow. Going to get a little bit iffier as the weekend goes on. Coming up today, 10 o'clock, statewide talk line. My good friend, Mr. Kirchhoff, was on. Hoppy Kirchhoff today. We'll be talking about COVID, of course, and he'll have with him Dr. Sherry Young, the health officer for the Kanawha County Charleston Health Department. Also, a look at a couple of sports activities. Fred Persinger in with the high school football playoffs, which should have been in. I guess we won't be. And Chris Lawrence talked about the start of gun deer season in West Virginia. That comes up on Monday. And can't pass the pigskin. Let's go shoot something. That's the way I look at it. And of course, most importantly, because it's a Friday, of course, on statewide talk line with Hoppy Kirchhoff, the final half hour beginning 11:30 is Steam Release, where you can say whatever you want to say as long as you don't swear. And Hoppy is obligated not to respond. And he probably gets his frustration level going high when some of those things are said because he feels a need to respond. I always enjoy talking to the Reverend Cummings. He is such a good guest, you know?
Yes, he is.
You know, and just, I mean, he's a thoughtful guy and we have some fun. And, you know, I don't know anybody who puts more passion into serving the community than the good Reverend Cummings does and his flock. I mean, they really do a tremendous amount of all season long. The Easter and back to school and Christmas and Thanksgiving, and I'm probably forgetting. You know, they have all these various and sundry giveaways, and those things don't come easily. And there's always challenges this year, particularly. He was talking about some of the challenges they've got, but they keep on doing it and they keep making it work. And I commend him for all of that effort, and B, I just get a good kick out of talking to him. He calmed me down a bit this morning.
Well, I kind of gave him a heads up before he came on, so he knew. Yeah, he knew what to expect. So
that my frustration level has been getting exceedingly high.
Yeah, so I kind of let him know what he was walking into first, and then just let him go after that.
I've been, pardon me, if you just joined us, I've been ranting a bit about Facebook this morning. And Facebook is sort of it's like the focal point, but it's just in general. There's so much negativity and divisiveness in our society, and it all seems to come to bear on Facebook. And I was just doing my doom scrolling yesterday, and people want to deny reality. I give them statistics, and they go, well, I don't believe those numbers. COVID's not a big deal. 250,000 people, 250,000 people dead. No, I don't believe it. I don't believe that. Okay, all right. I don't know what to do about that. There's just so much, and then people argue for the sake of arguing. It's one thing to argue. I said early on in Facebook, I would post something about a news story, local or national, and someone might disagree with me a bit, and we'd have a little give and take. And every once in a while, the occasional Looney Tune would pop up, but generally speaking, it would just be a good give and take, difference of opinions. We'd have any war, people just argue for the sake of arguing. Well, I'm just going to fight with you anyways. Refuse to accept data, as I mentioned, refuse to accept facts. I don't believe that. I just don't believe it. And so much of it comes down to people focused on their narrow-minded personal interests, like the mask thing. I don't wear masks. It's against my civil liberties. How about everybody else's liberty to life and happiness and all those things? Too much focus on these narrow-minded interests. And then when we get out of the serious issues, the reverse side of that, Biffy, is people just want to complain about some of the stupidest stuff. I mean, at least COVID is a serious issue. We can disagree on it, and you can tell me that you don't believe facts, and I think you're crazy, but it's a serious issue. Or the politics, or the election results. Those are serious things. But then people are just perpetually aggrieved about anything and everything on Facebook and elsewhere. There's a great Facebook group, Ohio Valley Food Fanatics, that I love, and I just wish it had been out before COVID came, because I have learned about so many new restaurants, not just locally, not just like Wheeling, Belmont County, but in this region, because people post the reviews of these different restaurants. There's some things in Cambridge people have been talking about lately and so on, which I definitely want to try. Can't do it right now. But it's a wonderful concept. And 90% of the time it's great. And then you get people that just want to come on and complain about some little tiny offense they took. I went to Bob's Bar and Grill, and they didn't wait on me for 10 minutes. Okay, maybe they were busy. Maybe just calm down. Take it easy. I saw yesterday, and if this was you, please don't get too upset with me. Somebody was complaining because they were paving a street in Wheeling. They're complaining about paving a street. I mean, it's good to get streets paved. People were complaining about streets because I don't know why they did it on Tuesday. We're better off if they'd done it on Wednesday. Give me a break. Just give me a break. Is it worth even mentioning? They should have done it on Wednesday. It wouldn't have been as big trip. And also on Facebook, when did unfriend become a macho threat? I mean, it used to be that if we really disagreed, I might punch you in the nose. Well, I'm not a violent man, but I mean, that's, eventually when we disagree, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a good smackaroo in the face. Oh, buddy Bob, I remember, was going to put his shoes on and go out and knock out somebody one time.
I did, yes.
Remember that? I'm putting my shoes on. I'm coming to get you. But now it's like, it's a big, yeah, you know what? If you don't stop talking, I'm going to unfriend you. Ooh, wow. Ooh, I can't go. My whole life will come to an end if you unfriend me. Just, boom, right there in the nose. That's the way you do it. And several of my friends have given up on Facebook now, and that frustrates me. Some people that I really have enjoyed communicating with on Facebook, people I've known over the years, but not close enough to really ever see them or talk to them in person much. But we've been able to reconnect and chat a bit on Facebook. But they've said, I quit. No mas. I can't take it. And I am reaching that point as well. I suppose by tomorrow I will calm down on all of this. There's plenty of good stuff happening on Facebook and Twitter and elsewhere. And for those of us in businesses like we're in Biffy, it's a good promotional tool. I let people know what's coming up on the show and all that kind of things. And it's a great way for you to watch us on Facebook. I guess if I dropped off Facebook, I'd have no Facebook Live. I can't do that. But my frustration level is just tremendously high. Maybe I'll chat with McCabe about this coming up in the next hour of the show, as well as some other Ohio Valley news stories. That's all coming up in the Friday Roundtable with John McCabe in the newspaper next hour. 54 degrees, clear skies, going to be nice, 62 or so before the day is over, and then we'll stay sunny all day long. It is 9 o'clock as we head over to ABC. They cover the world for us.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Of the United States.
Oh, wow. My time's way off. Biffy, what time do you have? Okay, I'm 20 seconds off. I just realized that because I couldn't, I was trying to get you out in time to hit the news on time, and we didn't, and I can see why now because I'm 20 seconds off. My clock is. This is my iPhone. It should be keeping time with, the internet. I don't know. Okay, so I gotta fix that somehow. All right, that's why we're off. I tried my best. I thought I was doing good, but you have to know what time it is to get out on time. So, all right. Anticipating McCabe. I have not heard from him one way or the other, but I assume he'll be on. Let me know. Thank you.
responsibility.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive discounts, and much more. Save $20 on a new AAA gift membership and add a second member for free. Plus, get a $10 gift card. Visit your local office or AAA.com/AAA gift.
Highland Sports Complex is the coolest destination for sports and entertainment the Ohio Valley has ever seen. Pop in for some open basketball in our field house or reserve some turf time for your next practice or game on our synthetic fields. Online registration is open for development classes and leagues for youth and adults. Highland Sports is also the hottest destination for birthday parties and other events. So come challenge yourself on our play climb and enjoy your favorite virtual reality game in the arcade. No membership
Is on, or if John is on. Oh, okay. Alrighty then, that'll work.
Forecast for your Friday. Mostly sunny skies, high of 60. Tonight, a chance of isolated showers, low of 45. And for your Saturday, expect mostly cloudy skies with a high of 52. And that's your local weather forecast from the Watchdog.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
Good morning.
Everyone, gather round.
What day of the week is it? It's Friday.
Woohoo! Thank God it's TGIF.
Best put seatbelts on your ears, because I'm going to take them for the ride of their life.
Are you ready? Ready for what? The weekend? Ready when you are, baby.
So without further ado,
Please welcome the finest broadcaster.
welcome to the show.
Showtime.
On air, online, on demand, and on video. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
We're talking about COVID a good bit this morning, including some of the local numbers that continue to rise. Ohio's COVID curfew is in effect. Buckeye State House Republicans passed legislation to limit the executive authority of Governor DeWine and his health officers to shut down government or to shut down business and other measures, although DeWine says he will veto that. The soon-to-be Senate President in West Virginia, Craig Blair, says public health concerns cannot be allowed to override civil liberties. West Virginia's school superintendent says remote learning is not good for students, even as the governor mandates a week of remote learning after Thanksgiving. We chatted with the Reverend Darrell Cummings earlier this morning about the weekend Thanksgiving food basket giveaway and the Christmas giveaway that he is hoping to have this Christmas time again. Newspaper editor John McCabe and I will in a minute here talk about the local news of the week in a regular Friday roundtable. And I guess the theme of the morning has been I'm just so fed up with Facebook. I've been just ranting about that all morning long. I may have reached my limit. I don't know. I probably not. I'll probably just let this slide over me. But boy, oh boy, I'm just getting so frustrated about the kinds of negativity and divisiveness that we see on Facebook and the pettiness that we see and all that kind of stuff. I've been ranting quite a good bit. And we can talk more about that. Let's see what John and I have talked about this before. We'll maybe get his take on that. As well. Biffy, I tried. I thought since I'm frustrated and irritated and anxious and all those things mentioned to you, I woke up at 3:00 this morning. Now that's not unusual. I often wake up at 3:00, but I usually go right back to sleep. I couldn't get back to sleep, so I've been up since 3. I'm working the Zach Petty shift.
Yes, you are.
Up that early. And I really am. I'm anxious. I can feel my blood pressure going up and so on. And I thought maybe this would be a good time to convince my wife that what I need is a nice, good plate full of sausage, gravy, and biscuits.
How quickly?
I discovered that was not going to happen.
I was going to say, how quickly did that get shut down?
Yeah, it didn't work. I thought, honey, I'm feeling so anxious, and I couldn't get to sleep last night, and I'm just all frustrated about things, and I need something. I need like comfort food. I need something to calm me down. So I think a good old plate of sausage, gravy, and biscuits would be good this morning, right? Wrong. Wrong. Sausage, egg McMuffin this morning? No. Okay. Granola bar? Maybe.
Oh, a maybe on a granola bar? Wow.
That was pretty much it. Actually, I had an egg. She's doing some hard-boiled eggs. I walked in the kitchen. There was one there, so I had an egg. I thought surely I could at least play this up a little bit and get some action out of it. John McCabe is here, managing editor of the local newspapers. Good morning, John.
Howard, sorry to hear about your dietary issues this morning, that you're not allowed to eat anything. Must be tough.
Well, I thought maybe I could convince my wife that she could loosen the reins a bit, since I've been frustrated and angry and been up all night, and surely maybe that could help me, but no.
But it's good to know that
No luck
pity
in there.
eating, like the pity guilt eating doesn't seem to work. Poor Nancy's not taking any pity on you for having to, for being awake and being anxious.
No, unfortunately. Well, I think she takes pity on for that, but she's not going to give me any solace in
Well, if she really,
good old comfort food.
Howard, if she really felt bad for you, she'd probably let you have, at least a little something. So I'm just thinking she just doesn't care, and she's just worried more about you living through the holiday season.
I don't know, unless they're checking my bank account the other day. I don't know what that's all about. John, you and I have talked about this before. You are not nearly as engaged in Facebook as I am. You use it and you pay attention to it, but you're not nearly as engaged as I am. But do you ever go through these times where you just start reading some of the stuff and you go, God, what's wrong with us these days?
It is, hence why I don't get engaged all that much, because people have, it's almost like, we've talked about it before, it brings out, in a lot of ways, the worst in a lot of people. Things you would never think to utter to someone face-to-face, you'll say online. It's rather disheartening to me that's what it's turned into, and that's what we have, as a society, have turned into. But, you're right. I use it to stay in touch with some of my buddies from high school and college, and obviously for work-related, and post a little here and there. But, I do know that, I notice whenever I'm engaged, when I engage with it more, and quite frankly, I don't have a lot of time during the day to really engage, or in the evenings, I'd rather spend my time better ways. But I do notice when I do engage more that I get angry, and I get, you get frustrated with where things are headed, and, again, people that I grew up with that just have the same arguments with each other over politics and socialism and liberalism and, conservatism, and it's just like, it's almost a shtick now, but more so than anything. So why waste, we can find better things to waste time on than talking about things that we can't change.
As I said earlier, and as you said, Facebook has been really helpful in me reconnecting with some old friends from high school and my younger adult days that I don't normally, have a chance to communicate with anymore. I have a couple of folks who watch me on Facebook Live, for example, out of town that, I don't ever talk to them, or very seldom will talk to them, but they watch the show and they send me a text or something every once in a while. And I feel like that's a good connection that we make. And I, as you point out, I used to at least just post something. I'd say, oh, this is an interesting story the Intel has today. Let me post it up here for people to read. And that's my point. Just read it. That's all. It's just read.
Exactly.
But everything becomes an argument.
Yeah, it does. And, and that's why it's, you try, I feel like the only thing I try to do anymore is just point out hypocrisies on both sides, because they're, that's really where we're headed. But no, I feel from a mental health standpoint, and especially now that as it turns colder, and this, election is, even though it's not really dragging on, parts of it, the lawsuits, the continued, I'm going to say division, but just some of the continued contentiousness from the election seem to be dragging on a little bit. And of course, that's without even talking about COVID and where everybody falls on that line. Really is just, I just I'd rather go down and tinker on my workbench, or spend time with my wife and kids than sit there and get too caught up in it.
And I think part of my problem is I don't have a lot of hobbies. I don't tinker on the workbench or do much. I mean, work is kind of my life, and so I need a hobby, I guess. I need something to occupy
Your hobby.
my time.
See, here's the problem. This is how you have to convince Nancy. Your hobby has always been eating.
That's true.
Food and good
That's
food. It doesn't have to be good food, just food. And so you need to convince her that, to help with your anxiety and from getting so mad, just give me that big plate of home fries,
That's a good point.
with gravy on them.
That's a good point. And that's partly true, though. I think part of the reason anxiety grows is because I don't get to go out. You and I don't have lunch together. A lot of my friends and I haven't had lunch with anybody for ages. And that always was kind of a nice release for me. So that's a good point. And if you noticed how, and I'll leave this behind after this, what I was saying earlier, how unfriend has become a threat. I will unfriend you.
I may well have been unfriended by a lot of people over the years. I don't know. I mean, it's, I guess one of the problems with Facebook too is for people that you don't interact with on a regular basis, what do you see from on your feed, maybe 40, 50 people on a regular basis. So, the other 8 to 1,200 or whatever it is that people have, I couldn't tell you if I'm still friends with them or not anyway. So no, people just need to, I don't know.
Whatever happened to an old punch in the nose? At some point,
Howard, you got to just put your shoes on and stand outside and wait.
I was going to say, you remember our old friend Bob? I want to put my shoes on. I'm going to meet you outside.
That was our old friend Bob and our old friend Dolph, wasn't it?
That's exactly right, and that's what men do. I'm going to unfriend you. I will unfriend you. Jeez. All right, let's talk about some of the local news.
Sure.
And COVID certainly continues to be at the top of the list. The numbers are still rising.
Yeah.
Fairly significantly. I think, 50-some in Ohio County, 60 in Marshall, or vice versa? Something like
64 yesterday or last night in Ohio, 50 in Marshall. So Howard, I went through and looked in just this morning. This week, since we last met last Friday, so starting on Saturday, Ohio County had 287 new cases in that week and 6 deaths. And I went back and looked just out of curiosity, and I picked a week at the end of June, kind of a comparable time frame at the end, toward the end of June, same week. We had 20 cases that week and no deaths. So, I just keep coming back to what has changed. Is the virus transmitting easier? Or is our testing better? Are we testing more? Or are people just getting, I'm going to say lazier, but less vigilant about, social distancing and masks? Something has changed, and not only here, it's all over the place, that has caused these numbers to, again, this isn't a spike. This is, a surge, in essence. We're seeing a huge, rising crest of numbers that, and again, when you look at the numbers, and that's, the numbers continue to climb. They're not, we haven't hit that peak and started on the downward end as we kind of saw during the first round of COVID-19 in the spring. So yeah, I thought that was interesting though. Almost 300 cases this week, not counting today, obviously. That was just from Saturday through Thursday, and 6 deaths.
And at the rate that we've been going, by the end of the day today, 300 is probably likely where we'll be, because we've been nicely into double. No, I shouldn't say nicely, but we've been firmly into double-digit increases, significant double-digit increases. So, I think it's. I really do think a lot of it is just we've given up on trying. Many people have given up on trying to be as careful as they were in the beginning, and once it begins to spread, once we hit that, I remember when the real fear back in, I don't know when, April, May, June, whatever, was that hopefully we don't get community spread. That was the fear. Because at that point, everything, you could kind of figure out where it came from. People in a nursing home got COVID and then transmitted it to other people. But now that's what they say, community spread. Originally, the fear was we don't want community. Now we just have widespread community spread to the point that the health department's even having a hard time keeping track of everything in terms of contact tracing and so on.
Yeah, I don't know if you got a chance to read it, but I thought the story that we ran Monday on, just on kind of the human toll that this is taking on a health department. And we focused on Marshall County and just the hours, 13, 14-hour days, 7 days a week, health, folks not getting to see their family members unless the family members come and help them, kind of do contact tracing, and really, and I'm sure as with your family connection to the health department, a lot of, all hands on deck. Restaurant inspections are probably pretty low priority right now. It's all hands on deck, but contact tracing and really helping, even in Ohio County, what is a very small department, handle, at least especially right now, this big surge in cases.
Both governors have decided to crack down or try to crack down. I don't know if it's going to be successful or not. Governor DeWine in Ohio issues a curfew, 10 p.m. to 5 a.m., something like that. Governor Justice wants a stricter mask mandate and puts the onus, first of all, on businesses to try to enforce that. But I don't know what kind of success either of those efforts will bring.
Yeah, that's going to be it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, you've spoken to the chief. We spoke to the chief here in Wheeling, Sean Schwartfeger. Wheeling, police agencies in general, not just Wheeling, but police officers are not trained necessarily in enforcing, I think as the chief put it, clothing mandates. So wearing a mask, it's not something that is part of their academy training. They're going to really have to look if it gets bad, is it a disorderly conduct? Is it trespass? The whole obstruction thing, I think as we talked on that issue, obstruction in my mind is a tough charge to make stick for anything. Maybe criminal trespass, not criminal, but just trespass is better because, a business owner is telling you to leave their store and you're refusing, those type of things. But, so you have that, and then you have Mike DeWine with his curfew, which I think is in effect I think he put it in effect for 3 weeks. And, really, I'm not quite sure what the purpose of it was, other than I really don't know after reading it and not sure, because all it really did was limit shopping after 10 o'clock, in essence, retail operations. So you can still go out and buy food, and you can still get gas, and you can still be out and about, but I'm not sure what the purpose of it was. Because, again, and I think what's interesting, and, in Ohio is, the governor cracked down on that a little bit at least, and has been out in front a lot, but yet Ohio winter sports are continuing on their regular schedule. So whereas in West Virginia, of course, the governor has delayed until January, but Ohio has made a decision to go ahead and move on to winter sports pretty much as scheduled. So it's just interesting times that we find ourselves in, and again, not sure how either side can really be enforced with the mandates that came out within the last week.
The issue of civil liberties is cropping up more and more. Of course, the Ohio House has voted to try to restrict the governor's ability in Ohio to impose more of these executive orders and shutdowns and so on. Attorney General Morrissey in West Virginia and Governor Justice are at odds over that issue. Morrissey says we want to protect public health, but we can't infringe on civil liberties. Craig Blair, the soon-to-be Senate president in West Virginia, says somewhat the same thing. Well, we want to protect public health, but we want to protect civil liberties, which I read that as meaning we're not necessarily in favor of all these mask mandates. And I don't know who's legally right on that. I mean, I can see either side, but what I don't get is why don't we just say it's a good thing to do, let's do it, and not have the fight. But
yeah, well, that's where we're at. I mean, and it's not only here; it's across the country in a lot of ways. I mean, this is a really big issue, and I'm the whole the civil libertarian in me does not like being told to wear a mask. I also realize that we are on the kind of right on that edge right now of another shutdown. And people need to understand that, if no matter who comes into office next year, I mean, Joe Biden is not going to be able to wave a magic wand and bring businesses back that have shut down in November and December because the country had to shut down again, or because states have shut down again. And, I just look at this from a standpoint of our small business community, a standpoint of our students. I've got an 11-year-old at home who hasn't been in school now for 3 weeks. That's not good. That's not good at all. And I very much dislike it. Now, to the good part is they did start in-person middle school learning this week in Ohio County, virtual learning. So that made her very happy. But it's, we need to realize that if we don't do the basic things, we're headed toward where we were back in March, and that's not going to be good for anyone.
No, exactly right. And another party that is directly involved in all of this are the hospitals, where you're seeing increased numbers of COVID cases. Wheeling Hospital was, as of 2 days ago, they were at 75% of their ICU capacity, having to probably open up some new beds and so on. 31 out of 45 already in use. So, the numbers are growing there. It's not just people getting sick or being diagnosed and then sitting at home and waiting out their quarantine. It's people who are becoming very ill as a result of this.
Yeah, 100%. And, both Wheeling Hospital and Reynolds are kind of at that, kind of getting close to capacity. They still have, and I think, Doug Harrison, I heard him on with you this week, and he offered a good explanation. They're not close to COVID capacity in essence, or, they could, if they had to, go back and do what they did in March and April and, shut down elective surgeries. But, what did that do to every hospital? That led to multiple millions of dollars in losses for elective surgeries that otherwise would have happened in the first, 2 quarters of this year. And so they don't want to go back to that route because, it's a hospital that's already struggling financially, still not part of the WVU system. So even though they're affiliated with WVU through management, their finances are still, Wheeling Hospital's finances are its own right now. So it's, again, I'm going to say precarious or tenuous, but, a concerning time, I'm sure, for Doug Harrison and Albert Wright and others in this region as they, make sure that they can continue to be a business that is profitable while it also serves patient needs.
Well, there's some other non-COVID stories we ought to talk about, some things happening in the city of Wheeling. We'll come back and talk about that in just a minute or two, John. So grab your second cup of coffee, sit back and relax. I'll go see if I can convince my wife during the break that maybe now's time for sausage, gravy, and biscuits. And we'll check some news from Metro News right now, and then we'll continue our conversation on the Friday Roundtable, Ohio Valley News Week in Review, here on the Watchdog Morning Show.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro.
Boy. Back in a minute, Biff. Okie doke. I'm back. Thinking if I just go ahead and order sausage gravy and biscuits and have them delivered, she can't stop me, right? I'll pay the delivery fee just to get them.
Senate on the Watchdog.
Throughout the Ohio Valley, back to school is looking different. Each day, parents, teachers, students, coaches, and administrators are finding solutions to situations that are unprecedented. All of us at the Highlands appreciate everything you are doing and are here for the items you need. Visit hitthehighlands.com for the current guidelines and updated contact information of our retailers and restaurants.
In a hurry and need to see a doctor? The Woodsdale Health Center and Walk-In Clinic is located across from Little Caesars on National Road. Open 7 to 7 Monday through Friday. Patients can receive primary care, treatment of minor illnesses and injuries, wellness visits and physicals. There's also a lab draw station open from 8 to noon weekdays. A division of Wheeling Hospital, the Woodsdale Health Center is led by family physician Dr. Michael Wilson. Call 304-234-1971. They'll take good care of you.
Save big during the Black Friday sales event at Thomas Auto Centers. Choose from over 80 in-stock certified pre-owned Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles. Get a 2017 Grand Cherokee Limited, 25,000 miles, sunroof, and leather heated seats, just $29,900. Or a 2019 Cherokee Latitude Plus, only 19,000 miles and local trade-in, just $25,228 at Thomas Auto Centers.
Check the best deal. Thomas Auto Center.
Mall Road, St. Clairsville.
Highland Sports Complex is the coolest destination for sports and entertainment the Ohio Valley has ever seen. Pop in for some open basketball in our field house or reserve some turf time for your next practice or game on our synthetic fields. Online registration is open for development classes and leagues for youth and adults. Highland Sports is also the hottest destination for birthday parties and other events. So come challenge yourself on our play climb and enjoy your favorite virtual reality game in the arcade. No memberships required, so visit highlandsports.com to find your next entertainment experience and get ready to reach new heights.
From the Watchdog, here is your local weather forecast for your Friday. Mostly sunny skies, high of 60. Tonight, a chance of isolated showers, low of 45. And for your Saturday, expect mostly cloudy skies with a high of 52. And that's your local weather forecast from the Watchdog.
WKKX and WVLY voted coolest couple in their high school yearbook. Give us a call and tell us what you're thinking. Locally, 304-214-1600. Out of the area, toll free, 866-514-1600 or 304-232-TALK.
He rambles, he rants, and sometimes he sings. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
Here's a look at the Ohio Valley local news week in review with newspaper editor John McCabe and Howard Monroe.
Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
Yeah, it's kind of the way I feel. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Biff and John McCabe are there, and I'm stuck in the middle.
You know, I kind of feel you, Howard. I mean, I got a clown on the left, that'd be you.
Joker on the right,
I'm not sure
that'd
who's
be
the
you.
Joker on the right.
That would be you, John.
So are we saying Biff's in the middle?
And poor Biff is stuck in the middle. He's going, I got to deal with these two guys. I don't know. Jesus, they don't pay me enough. I'll tell you that.
That's
John,
years of experience here. That's all
exactly.
that is.
John, I have always argued that this downtown Wheeling needed more livings, more people living downtown. And my argument has always been that people living downtown is the way you eventually create more activity downtown, which creates more businesses downtown. It doesn't work the other way around. And I have been surprised at how successful downtown living has been. The Bowery Lofts, the Stone Lofts, a lot of other Individual buildings now have people living in them downtown, more than I ever thought would be the case. But part of me wonders how much more is there for downtown living. But I guess the city is looking at working with WODA to have yet more downtown apartments.
Yeah, WODA has been, dare to say, fairly or very successful in their ventures in Wheeling. We have from Providence Green to the Morey Lofts, and then now down in South Wheeling. So I'd have to, much like you, I'm going to assume they know what they're doing and know what works for this market, what not. I mean, it's the Morey Lofts has been a fairly busy and hard to get in apartment complex since they opened it. So, and it seems like the potential, I can't think of the gentleman's name, at the old Wheeling Pit building, hasn't really had any movement in a while. Yeah. So, we'll see. I'm really going to be curious to see, how this property at 10th and Main is going to work. That's the old Stogie's building, and it's a building that needs something done with it. Let's put it that way. That building needs something done with it.
It was an iconic building. I guess it is an iconic building in the city of Wheeling, and so it has some historic value, has some image value. I guess by building the apartment complex there, it's going to be about a 4-story complex, I think they're talking about doing. It will not just provide additional downtown living, but also kind of spruce up one of our key gateways to the city, which is a good thing. And I'm not even a tiny bit critical, not even a tiny bit. All I'm saying is I'm just downtown living has worked better than I thought it would in terms of getting people to come downtown. But the flip side of that is, now I guess I'm going to get in trouble probably with the mayor and others. Given all the downtown living that's occurring now, all of the places we've just talked about, Stone's Loft, the Morey Lofts, or the individual buildings that are there, I guess Flatiron Building still has some people in it. We have this new. I haven't seen a whole lot of extra business coming downtown.
Well, you're right, and what I would say is part of it. I can tell you down on this end of town, on the southern end of town where I'm located, with the Morey Lofts there, and you see there's a heck of a lot more activity down here in the evening. When people are coming home from work. But really, unfortunately, all these things take time to happen. And we've had right across, you mentioned the Flatiron Building. We had a coffee shop open there that unfortunately opened at one of the worst possible times with COVID coming. So there's definitely more people downtown. Now it's going to be a matter of what comes to service. I mean, we do have some restaurants downtown, but COVID has really put the kibosh on a lot of things. It's really put the squeeze on people wanting to go out, and so it's kind of a tough. I think right now it's a tough time to gauge. Here's the other argument I make for them doing this. Not make for them doing this, but maybe why it's necessary. You go to in some ways, Wheeling has always prided itself on its historic architecture and historic apartments and houses, and I love old Victorian homes. I just love the thought of them. Probably I don't own one, but I love the look and the grandness of them. Would probably not love to pay the electric bill or the gas bill in one if I owned one. But you find younger people, generally speaking, and people who would be coming into this area don't want, people want new homes. They want, they want their starter home to be something new. They don't want their starter home to be a 70-year-old home that needs updating. And so that's something this area has lacked for a long time. Part of it is because of, just the lack of developable land. But people don't, while the architecture here is one of the key draws to this area, not everybody wants to live in a big old Victorian home. So, and the apartments kind of go the same way. We've got a lot of old stock of apartments, with apartments. So, when you look at the one at the Highlands, and I'm trying to think, the name just went out of my head, but they have that new condo complex, townhouses up across from the Highlands, back behind the Robinson Auto dealership.
It's like Highlands Park or something.
Yeah,
right?
something. Those places have filled up really quick. And they're new. They have newer amenities. WOTA's places have filled up relatively quick. Why? Because they're new. They're built for, they're built only a few stories. They're easier for, if you're an older person and they have built some senior homes, the Providence Green, you have 2 floors. And so they're easier to navigate. This one will be new. People will flock there. The Bory Lofts, even though it was an old building, they went in and gutted it. They didn't just go in and kind of retrofit it. And, they went in and gutted it and basically built all brand new apartments. So, and that's something, again, that Wheeling has lacked for a long time, is just that, people want, but you find younger people want new homes. They don't want 70-year-old homes anymore.
And again, I think this has a lot of potential, but I would really like at some point, and you're right, I think COVID made a huge difference in development of business, in particular restaurant businesses. Although we have a couple of new ones downtown, another one coming apparently, and so on. But we still don't have a good, like a general store or a good, we still don't have any shopping downtown. I would think at some point somebody somewhere would want to add that, since we have people who are literally walking the streets now, not like in the old days.
Well, Howard, I would say, you and I have discussed many times on how the whole deal came together, but do not, what I'll say is don't discount the number of people that utilize the public market for shopping. It's not necessarily a grocery store, but you can go in and get most of your staples. And
I was actually going to mention that in a minute, because as in terms of grocery shopping and produce shopping and meat shopping, so that's fine. I was thinking more of general shopping. You need a pair of socks, or you need, I don't know what. But I mean, I'm surprised that we have not seen something, I don't know where it would be, but something develop downtown where you just have more of a small type, again, for lack of a better word, general store that would sell retail goods, not just food goods. But you're right, public market, and I was very critical of the way it got started. They really have developed well. And they do a pretty good business. Again, I think they, like everybody else, suffered tremendously during COVID, are suffering during COVID. Not to mention public market was shut off from access for a good while because some of the work that's being done right in front of it. But it is a success story. I won't disagree with that. I was going to make another point and I forgot what it was.
Welcome to old age, huh?
I'm tired, John. I'm tired. I've been up since 3 o'clock. I'm tired. I know what I was going to say. There's another kind of downtown living, or close to downtown living, that is about to open up here in another week or two, and that's the Freeze Shelter, which will move from East Wheeling to, I guess, Center Wheeling, but to the old OVMC building.
Yeah, that's going to be, the city announced that this week, that they're, again, using that building as a larger, the free shelter had been at the old Hazel Atlas building in East Wheeling, and kind of limited in room and space, and, layout is a little bit challenging. So the city's going to open that up, probably starting in early December. As weather permits, when nights go below 32, has always been at least the standard up till now for it to be open, and have a larger, maybe more manageable facility for folks to spend the night at, if they, and I think if I remember correctly, they have some stipulations on when and where how you can stay. But will be interesting debate on council Tuesday on using that building. So that's where they're headed with that.
I got a text here, which I hate to be the negative. I always get criticized as being a negative. This individual always criticized me of being a negative. But Howard, in the last week in downtown, the River's Edge restaurant closed, which they did permanently. And I did not know the Starbucks at the community college closed their doors too, John? Is that
No. I actually just had a Starbucks yesterday, but they are closing Wednesday of next week. Now that has nothing to do with business more to do with from talking to the folks who work there. The college did not renew. West Virginia Northern did not renew its lease with Barnes & Noble, which had been their bookseller, and the Starbucks came with the Barnes & Noble. Those are packaged together in colleges. So,
Right,
yeah,
so,
I mean,
well,
it is leaving on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving is their final day of operation, but it had nothing.
Something else may go in there.
Right. Potentially, yes.
College,
Yeah.
The college may have some other plans for, for a coffee shop / bookstore or something. Okay. Right. But that's a good point. The River's Edge, which, boy, that surprised me when it announced it was permanently closed. I mean, they poured a huge amount of money into that
They did.
building.
I just had dinner there maybe 3 weeks ago, and always had good food. But it never really took off. It never really grabbed people for whatever reason. Even when it first opened, it was busy, but never packed. And so, I don't know if it was just the location. I don't know if it was, who knows why, but, and maybe they'll have plans to do something else with it because they, as you said, it's the old Guerrero's music store. They dumped a lot of money into that building.
A huge amount of money.
Facade,
my understanding, I have no inside info, but I understand it's a huge amount of money they put into and they did a good job of renovating the building.
Yes.
And it is a place with beautiful river views and, something didn't jive. Something didn't mix. I never was there. I kept saying I want to go there. COVID came. I was hoping, a chance to give it a try at some point, but that they closed down. So that's a good point. Thanks to our texter for pointing that out. So while things are happening, there also are things that are closing as well.
Yeah, unfortunately.
John, there's a new president at West Liberty University.
Yeah, Franklin Evans. I'm really happy with the hire for many reasons. I think one, always great to note, he is the first Black president of West Liberty University in its 180, I think, 3-year history. And he's a really smart guy. I mean, he's a journalism grad, and so, hey, you and I got to love him for that.
That's what you need. We need more journalists running institutions of higher education.
No,
John, there's hope for us yet.
There is. I'm really eager, and again, the current time we're in makes everything more difficult. Really eager to meet him, though. He seems like he's had an interesting career, and I think he's going to bring a lot of energy to the job. And Steve Greiner had a really good run, and he was. As you look back at his term, he was really the right guy at the right time for West Liberty to come in and kind of, calm things down, right the ship a little bit, help to chart, continue charting forward. West Liberty now is kind of in the same pickle that every other small and large university finds itself in this world. Are students going to be on campus? Are students going to go to college? I was reading something yesterday or Wednesday on the renewed push for people to, for people graduating high school to go right into the trades, and and looking at depending on what you major in. You can go into the trades, and in those 4 or 5 years that you make, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year as a carpenter or a welder or whatever it might be, you never make that money up when you come out with a journalism degree.
You'll never make that money up with a journalism degree. And you, generally speaking, the trades don't have a college debt to deal with. So
yes, exactly. So there's a lot there that So he'll have a lot of things to kind of help the West Liberty figure out, and as they work with higher ed throughout West Virginia to kind of chart that path forward. I think Gordon Gee at the beginning of this pandemic really summed things up well. This pandemic and remote learning is kind of accelerated a change that needed to happen with our colleges by about 10 years in terms of how they deliver education, in terms of, we all know if you send a kid to Morgantown, half of their annual expenditure, if not more, is just, cost of living, room and board. So, if you can take that away by working remotely, you lose the college experience, but, you come out after 4 years with $40,000 less in debt. That's a huge amount of money.
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, speaking of West Liberty, you and I will meet there again on Monday.
Yes.
For our At Issue program on the West Liberty University TV station and the Topper station. And we'll continue At Issue discussions at that point. Have yourself a good weekend, John. I appreciate it. We will talk again soon.
Talk to you soon. Take care.
Thanks a lot. Newspaper editor, managing editor of the local newspaper, John McCabe. He and I kick things around every Friday here on the Watchdog Morning Show. And also, we tape generally on a Monday. We tape the show for West Liberty Television on the Topper station, the At Issue TV version. So we tape it on Monday, and it's usually up on the website and on the TV, Comcast Cable Channel 14, WLUTVOnline.com. How many times, Biff?
4,632.
Generally speaking, that's exactly right. It's like, really, it's kind of hard to miss us. When are you guys on? Oh, I don't know. Turn us on. Turn it on. We'll probably be on. Turn us on and give us 30 minutes, and we'll probably pop on again. But if you want to watch it on your own time, go to Topper Station, and everything is there on streaming video, so you can watch that again. And let's talk about what's happening in the Ohio Valley and what Channel 7 is working on right now. Bob Westfall is here. Good morning, Bob.
Morning, Howard. How are you this morning?
It's Friday. I've been grumpy all morning long. Very, very grumpy.
So how's that different than the other 4 days this week?
Well, there is that.
I mean, Biff and I talked before this all starts, right?
I've been getting a little frustrated with my Facebook page lately. I'm just kind of reaching my limit.
Yeah, I'm kind of past that too.
There's good stuff. Like I really appreciate the stuff. Let's use Channel 7 as a good example, Bob, real quick. You post good stories up there, and people can read them, and that's what I think Facebook is for. And then invariably it turns into a spitting match with all the comments,
Right.
And that's where I get frustrated.
Yeah, don't read the comments. I've always been told that.
That's exactly right. Running short on time. Tell me what we've got going on today.
A couple things. We're going to sit down and get together with the big news with the vaccine. We're going to talk WVU Medicine, Wheeling Hospital people, and what is a vaccine, how important is it, how unique it is, how fast this one got, how this went from point A to point B, and it looks like it's going to be coming to a neighborhood near you soon. So we're excited about that story. Cameron water situation out there, not enough rain out there. The reservoir is low. We're going to find out what the situation, what problems that could cause for the city of Cameron. We're going to talk to the EMA director down there, Tom Hart, about what a situation like this could cause when they don't have enough water. And one other thing, we're dealing with COVID. We've been dealing with it for the past 8 months, 10 months. And now that it's getting darker, a lot of people are having issues, stuff like that. So we're going to talk to a local doctor about the unfortunate increase in the situations of suicide, things like that. Mm-hmm. And maybe a little bit of prevention, maybe get the word out that, like you're not alone and there are people that can help you. And of course,
it gets dark. I think Zach said 5:02 tonight is the sunset.
Right. Yeah, so it's dark, and we're dealing with everything else that's going on. So maybe a few pointers, maybe just at least one person out there. Maybe this story will help. So Caroline Peters is working on that story today. Obviously, we're going to check on numbers. Ohio, West Virginia. I think Governor Justice has a presser today, so John Lynch will be streaming that, and then we'll have that from Mark Curtis later tonight.
All right, all that's coming up today at noon, 5, 6, 10, and 11, the 5:30 statewide show on WTRF, and always at WTRF.com and on the Facebook page. Read the story, skip the comments.
There you go. Have a good weekend, guys.
You too, Bob. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. We're going to follow up on vaccines on Monday as well here on the Watchdog Morning Show. We'll have from Wheeling Hospital, Dr. Clark Milton is coming in on Monday to talk about vaccines, the COVID vaccine, and what we should anticipate and how hard it's going to be to get it out and get it up and get it running and what the time frame might be and so on. So the Big Seven going to work on that today. We'll be talking to Dr. Milton on Monday. here on the Watchdog Morning Show. But my friends, that's it for now. Good Lord willing, creeks don't rise, bat phone doesn't ring. I don't get impeached, I don't retire. Ticker keeps on ticking. I don't overeat, and I don't drive myself crazy with my anxiety over Facebook. I'm thinking, and most importantly, and Teddy says it's okay to go back to work on Monday, Granddad. I intend to be back Monday morning, 7 o'clock, when they go around to the big gig. Are you back with me, Biff?
Back Monday, ready to start another week.
We'll keep on doing it till we get it right.
That could be a long time.
Indeed.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
For emergency.
I tried to tie. I gotta damn this clock. All right, Biffy. Thanks for your help today. Appreciate it. Got through my frustrations of the day. So it's food. Food becomes critical at this point. I'm going to try and come up with something. Do I try to cajole her to get me some food, or do I just go ahead and order it and have it delivered and take the punishment when it comes? I'm thinking, yeah, I think you're probably right. All right, I'll be around if you need me for anything. I may try and get a little early nap today since I'm so tired this morning. But if you need me for something, just give me a call. I'm around. Thanks, you too. Talk to you Monday. Bye.
Lawsuits have now hit a wall. Members of Trump's own party panned his team's tactics. Senator Ben Sasse urged Americans to focus on what they say under oath, observing that before the courts, the president's lawyers have repeatedly refused to allege grand fraud because there are legal consequences for lying to judges. And Senator Mitt Romney, a frequent Trump critic, tweeted, "It is difficult to imagine a worse, more undemocratic action by a sitting American president."
President today expected to meet with the Republican leaders of Michigan's legislature and Senate. He suggested they override the will of state voters and appoint their own electors. Both men have said they don't plan to do that. Georgia will certify the results of the election today. The Secretary of State, who called himself a disappointed Trump supporter,